I'm here in Huntington Beach today, about 20 miles, maybe 30 minutes from Laguna Woods, and I'm sitting at the public library, Huntington Beach Public Library, and we have with us today Cynthia Flores, who is a public relations clerk who's going to fill us in on this amazing library. Cynthia, I'm so happy to have you with us today.
Thank you.
And well, let's start with a little bit about the history of this library. How long has it been here, and what can you tell us about it?
We're in the Central Library. This is not the original Huntington Beach Library. The closest to the original Huntington Beach Library is our location on Main Street. There was an original building prior to that. But this, where we're sitting right now, used to be outside. So our original entrance was just behind me. And that building, which was originally designed by Richard Neutra.
All right.
And
So-
that's got about 73,000 square feet of space and
Oh my gosh.
lots of windows.
So what we're seeing here, this is on many different levels with fountains and plants, and it all dates back to 1975. Any additions gone on since then, or it's remained the same?
So where we're sitting now used to be outside. This is part of our addition, which was finished in 1994.
Oh,
We have our new front desk area. You could see the ramp behind us. That used to be outside. We had a
oh, really?
when I was in high school, I used to come here, and this was outside, and our skater friends used to ride down the ramp and get in trouble, and so that became enclosed. And behind you, there we have our children's wing that was added on, and what is now our AMH room, which is our all media housing. It used to be originally our media space where we would rent out
I see.
videos and records and tapes at the time.
Yeah.
And now we have
Okay.
DVDs.
I got it. So basically what you've done is incorporated this outdoor area into an indoor library, an indoor part of the library with fountains and plants, and the whole library is nestled in the Huntington Beach Central Park.
Yes.
So you're surrounded by greenery, surrounded by fountains inside the library. Very tranquil, wonderful feel that you get here.
Yes.
Yeah, and special services that you offer here. We did a quick walkthrough, and tell us about some of your services.
We'll start off with our newly added digital services. People can use their library card to access ebooks and e-audiobooks, stream music and movies.
All right.
We have Canopy that does independent films and documentaries, which are really great.
So these are all streamed. Now,
These
what
are all
that means
streams.
is that, well, first of all, can I get a library card here? I live in Laguna Woods.
Absolutely. At no charge.
Now,
You just need to be a California resident to
Oh,
get a
really?
card here. Yes.
Oh, a California resident.
Yeah.
All right. So with this library card from your library, I can have access to all of the information that you stream.
Absolutely.
The audiobooks, the other digital services, library catalog, and databases.
Yes.
Do people know what databases are?
I think it's a little bit confusing for some.
Okay, I won't ask that question.
Databases basically hold information that is held to be true information. So if you want to find out, say something about a history of something, or if you're looking up a science, you can access different databases.
Got it.
And we have them offered here at the library without a card, but if you go home and
You
look
can
at our,
access it
you
too.
need to have your library card.
All right.
So we do subscribe to like New York Times.
Yes.
They can access from home. We have other databases for learning. There's so many things.
Okay.
So many different things you can access.
Good to know. There's so many little hidden parts in this whole library, which makes it so appealing. The water, the little nooks all over the place. It's not like one big open room. And that's, I think, why it's so inviting. But you also have a coffee area that says
do.
snacks and coffee.
Yes, we do.
You have a gift shop. You have a theater here that seats 300 people.
300 people, yes.
And what kind of programs or performances do you have there?
We have Some library programs. We have children's programs. There's a children's ballet etudes that usually does a
Okay.
Nutcracker every year. They do a spring ballet.
Lovely.
But we've also had BB Jazz usually would do a winter performance here in our theater, and they'd have a fine dinner. You could do a VIP, you'd have
Oh my
dinner
gosh.
and then go into the theater and watch some. We'll have blues and rock
Wow.
concerts in there, plays. Their playhouses rent the space, so it is rentable. It is.
It's a cozy little
there's all
theater.
kinds of things. We have
Yeah.
weddings that take place down there because we have reception rooms as well. Children's theater is the Tabby Storytime Theater.
I see the story
Yes.
time area. And I noticed you have story times every day of the week, including one day that has rock and roll story times.
We
and
do.
who comes in
Yes.
to do that story time?
Mr. Brian, he's our rock and roll storyteller, and he brings his guitar and his joy, and he's just a lot of fun. It's just great to have little energy. Some of our kids need to have a little bit more action in their
Yes.
story time.
I love it. One thing that really struck me as we walked into the library, right in front of us was kind of an old-fashioned card catalog, but it's a seed catalog.
It
yes,
is.
like for gardening seeds. And you have seeds that people can, this is what it looks like. Each seed has a little packet in the back, and this has about 10 seeds inside it. And I can, with my library card, I can take this home with me and keep these seeds and plant them.
Absolutely. Yes.
And you have a seed librarian
We do.
who
We
manages the
We do. It's so great. We have two seed librarians. It's a mother and daughter pair. They are master gardeners, and they provide the knowledge and information to me directly. And we order the seeds.
Oh, you do.
And they volunteer a lot of their time to pack seeds.
it's-
We have teenagers coming in to pack seeds. So this one in particular is it's a little bit special. The card here, because it's focused on California native plants.
How has COVID affected the library? Not providing library service for all those months, people rediscovering technology from home. Has it had a big impact on how people use the
Absolutely.
idea?
It really
library.
showed how innovative you can be and creative to keep in touch with the community. This library is part of the city of Huntington Beach, so we are city employees. So we did team up with other city divisions to help our seniors in the community and people who might need a little extra help. And then during that time, we got creative on how we could reach out as a library.
Sure.
We just rocked out those digital library cards so that people could access our digital resources. And really, it was just maybe a month and a half, a couple months, and we allowed for sidewalk service. So
Oh,
it
perfect.
was just packed with books and
Okay.
stacks, and we were running in and out, just taking people their
All
books and doing the best we could to get our products out to them.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful that you offer that service. I notice on the outside of the building, it's Huntington Beach Central Library and Cultural Center.
Correct.
Meaning you are incorporating, you're not just the library, you're really trying to reach out to the community as a whole to bring them here to offer some of the services and different things they're interested in as well, programs and seed catalogs and tool rentals you even have here. Well, is there anything else you'd like to tell us about this really exceptional library?
We do have something very new. It's called our Makerspace.
Huh?
And you do need to be a library card holder to use the Makerspace. They have training on equipment. We have a Cricut machine, we have a 3D printer, we have a forager, we have sewing machines. There's so many things that you can do down there. You just get trained on each one, and once you pass the training, you can go in and utilize the space during their hours.
So it's for people
for
to
free.
use in the space there, sewing machines, Cricut machines.
Yes.
They don't check them out and take them home.
No.
They use them there and there's supervision to teach you how to use it.
Yes,
Fabulous.
absolutely, and it's all
Fabulous.
free. So
Okay.
Monday through Thursday we're open until 9 p.m.
Okay.
But we open at different times. The weekends we're open until 5.
All right.
Yeah.
That's 7
Yeah.
days a week.
7 days a week.
That's
Yes.
fabulous.
Yes.
Thank you, Cynthia. This has been a wonderful treat hearing about this very special library. A feature of the Huntington Beach Central Library that few people know about is what some people call the Secret Garden. Created in 1992, it's a showcase for drought-tolerant plants and a serene place to enjoy nature. And it's actually not a secret, but a bit of a hidden garden, a short walk from the parking lot. Thus the name Hidden Garden. But we found it. Come and enjoy this beautiful little garden.
Welcome to Shipley Nature Center. I'm Kay Goddard, and I'm the president of the Friends of Shipley Nature Center, which is a nonprofit organization that is responsible for the 18 acres of Shipley Nature Center. We're standing right now in the Interpretive Center. You enter from a parking lot available on Golden West Street in Huntington Beach and come down a accessible pathway into the Interpretive Center. We're going to show you the demonstration garden, which is totally accessible. And we're going to take you a little bit down here to Blackbird Pond, which is actually an underground source of water that's on this side of Golden West and on the library side of Golden West. It's the same groundwater, but we humans have put Golden West Street right through the middle of it. So this water rises and falls according to how it's charged by Metropolitan Water District. Right at the moment, this area is closed off because it is too wet. It would be too soggy. But you can come back through a different route and come this direction and past our interpretive center and a demonstration garden and go into our meadow area, our riparian woodland, which again you have to turn around and come back a bit, but the pine forest, Torrey pine forest, the oaks, and the riparian woodland. Now we have a conservation yard where we're doing vermicasting and backyard composting both, so we can tell you about how to do those things and how you can in your home be responsible environmentally by recycling everything. That comes from a grant through the city of Huntington Beach, but it's really AB 939, which we all voted for at some point, enough to make it, it's called Reduce, Reuse, and Recycle. And that money allows us to put on, in our amphitheater, which is in this area here, we put on programs that talk about recycling and composting.
So Kay, tell us a little bit about what we are looking at. This is quite impressive.
This is a diorama created by volunteers here at Shipley Nature Center. And it is showing what the desert, we live in a desert area, I think we understand that in Southern California. This is showing the animals and the habitat as it has been, not necessarily now, but this is showing what we have here. And it has been done in honor of a veteran from the Vietnam War by volunteers. A volunteer family has put this together. So it does show some of the taxidermy animals that we have here for people to see at Shipley. We have the taxidermy on the walls, and we have pelts on the walls for people to feel and understand. We have a high-tech, high-touch center here in the Interpretive Center. The high-tech being all the things that are on iPads and other kind of electronic gadgets, and the high touch being the pelts and the fuzzy animals and the things that young children can play with and feel connected to nature.
Tell me a little bit about the Shipley Center. Who was Shipley? Who was the person that was behind this project?
Dr. Donald Shipley is a native of Connecticut and grew up in the wilderness that is Connecticut even today. And when he came to Huntington Beach, he was first of all, he was world traveled, so he had been many, many places throughout the world. When he was in Huntington Beach, was in the 60s, he was a professor of biology at California State University, Long Beach. And Don was mayor for 2 terms here in the city of Huntington Beach. And in that period of time, in the late 60s, he caused these 18 acres to be set aside for a native center, meeting native plants.
Quite an impressive place, and it sounds like it's been here. You've been here for about 20 years, is that
We
right?
have. Our 20th
Okay.
anniversary is next year.
I'm here today with Melanie, who is the volunteer coordinator for the Shipley Center. And Melanie, this is such an amazing place. Tell us about your army of volunteers.
So right now you're standing in front of the riparian garden, and this was a project that was put in, so you can kind of see where if there was a river in the nature, and you see what kind of plants that you would find around the river, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the demonstration garden goes out and beyond here, and that kind of shows us what kind of plants we can plant in our yards as well.
Well, Melanie, thank you so much for taking time to show us around in this wonderful, unusual place. And I do hope our viewers will take you up on your offer to come and check out volunteer opportunities here.
Absolutely, and if nothing else, come and check out the whole nature center. It's just beautiful, absolutely lovely.
We're now in Old World, a shopping and restaurant area in Huntington Beach. And although there are a number of small shops, it is probably best known for the Beer Garden restaurant. And here to tell us about it today is Our Penny. So Our Penny, welcome to Beyond the Gates, and we're looking forward to hearing more about this amazing place. Well, could you start with the history a little bit?
Well, I want to welcome you all to come to the
Thank
Beer
you.
Garden in Old World, Huntington Beach. It's our pleasure to hold this interview with you. This place was built in 1976-77 is when it opened up. Joseph Bishop was the founder and the builder of the whole village over here. It was meant to be like his hometown. People used to live at their apartments upstairs and have their little shops downstairs to come down and run it, and then at night go back home.
And that was the same pattern they followed.
Yes.
Upstairs living and downstairs shops.
Correct.
How many people in this whole community were there?
This community has about 40 to 50 units. Some are
Right.
completely commercial, some are mixed use,
Right.
you know. So it's pretty convenient for a lot of people to have that.
Absolutely.
You know, especially if you have your own business and you have families and children, it's convenient to go upstairs and
Oh, how easy is that? Well, I imagine many years ago was it strictly German and Austrian shops, or has it always been a bit of a mixed bag?
No, it's always been a mix. There have been different shops like Swedish shops, Austrian, German, and then some crystal stores imported from Europe. There's been multiple.
But Western European.
Correct.
And has that changed over the years, or?
It has changed. We've tried to bring a lot of European vendors over here. It's a little bit of a challenge nowadays, but we're doing our best. It has somehow this year things have kind of turned around. We have new people that are purchasing the buildings because you can actually purchase those buildings
Really?
as individual units. So people have been purchasing it, and we're hoping they're going to bring more to Old World and bring back the
It will be
European
another
taste.
little community.
Yes,
It sounds
for
wonderful.
sure. It's a very nice community. Well, we have all our friends have children, and we're children that are growing up over here, like in Europe. You would,
Really?
You know.
So do you live here?
I do live over here.
You live here?
Yes, I do live here. Joseph Bishop himself, he lives here. His daughter, Cindy Casco.
Really?
She lives over here. We all have children, and our children basically grew up running up and down those cobblestones over here. And it's a pretty nice thing to give to our children
is.
nowadays.
What comes after that? November 1st. What is this place like?
Well, we have a really big program that's going to start in November, first week in November. We're going to be setting up our Chris Kindle style market over here. You're probably familiar, we have the European store over here.
Yes.
We import goods from all different parts of the countries, European countries. And we try to bring that to the residents over here in in Huntington Beach, Orange County, LA County. They come from
Right.
all over to shop in our
what a-
store. So in November, we'll start setting up that store.
So this is sort of like, this is very much like the Christmas market in Europe. People can save a trip and just come right here to a Christmas market.
Correct.
Instead.
Correct. This fresh baked goods, for example, we have our fresh baked bread and rolls and apple strudel,
Oh, yes.
German style and Austrian style. Besides that, we also have our homemade Stollen, which is a Christmas sweet cake that everybody loves to have during holidays. So we bake that fresh over here as well. And then we also offer lots of imported baked goods. We import it from Germany, from France, different pastries, and then we
Oh, you
showcase
do?
them over here, and
Oh,
also
my
from
gosh.
Italy. And then possibly this holidays we're gonna do a fresh cannoli stand too. We're gonna add that, and we're
Italy.
gonna have an Italian baker that's gonna join us
So-
and provide us all good taste of Italian.
This is just holidays around the world.
Tiramisus and
Oh,
yeah.
it sounds wonderful.
She also makes a wonderful limoncello tiramisu, which was very new to me.
Wonderful to hear about all of this. I'm excited for the holidays to bring my family here, and thank you so much for
Definitely.
taking time to visit with us today.
My pleasure.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you from Old World Family.
Long before this area was developed by Henry Huntington and became Huntington Beach, and long before oil was discovered and Huntington Beach became Oil City, and long before Huntington Beach became known as Surf City, long before any of that, this area was farmland. And the beautiful city home that I'm standing next to was built in 1898 for the Newland family. They were farmers from Illinois, and there used to be a huge barn right over there. The Newland house has been beautifully restored and is furnished with period pieces from the early 1900s. Come see it. It's only $2 a donation at the door. Let's take a look inside. It's a pleasure being with you here today in this beautiful house. And I'm hoping you can tell us a bit about the history of this place. When was it built?
This house has been here, started in 1897 and completed in the summer of 1898. It was built for William and Mary Newland and their family of 8 children at that time. This house had 10 children altogether.
Oh my,
And the last 2 girls were born right here in this house.
wow. So this is a big house. How many square feet
It's
is it?
2,500 square feet with 1,800 square feet downstairs with the rest upstairs.
Now, it's huge for that time of
Yes, it
time.
is.
Yes. Now, tell me about what brought the Newlands here. Were they farmers?
They were farmers. They originally came from Jacksonville, Illinois, with their $3 to Half Moon Bay to escape the really cold and blistered winters. But that aggravated Mrs. Newland's arthritis, and they moved to a small farm that they purchased in Compton.
Oh.
And a son and daughter were born
Okay.
there. They then moved on to the Irvine Ranch in a place called Rattlesnake Canyon. While they were there, 3 more children came along.
Oh my.
So they wanted to find a place that they could really call their home. They looked around and they found this site here. And they purchased over 500 acres, which went from Beach Boulevard today to York, to Atlanta, Magnolia, to Beach Boulevard.
What a huge area. Now, he must have been a very successful business person.
Oh, he
to
was
begin
very
with.
successful. He was on the high school board, and Mrs. Newland was on the elementary school board. Mr. Newland was also on the road commissioner that got the coast highway down here in Orange County.
Oh, so they had a huge impact on
Oh,
the
yes, they
community. They really did. And thinking of what it must have been like in 1896, 1898, I mean, there would have been nothing here. I mean,
There
it
would
was
be
just-
nothing here at all.
How far are we from the ocean, from the
We're
beach?
about a little over a mile and a half.
Okay, so they were here strictly for farming
Yes.
purposes.
In fact, the girls, the daughters, said that they could, on really cold windy nights, they could hear the roar of the surf all the way up
really?
here. And there's a picture of Mr. Newland on the wall.
Oh my gosh, oh, very imposing presence there. Right, now over the years, they lived here then until how long?
Mr. Newland passed away in 1931 of a massive heart attack that he had while he was trying to fight a brush fire out in the field.
Oh,
Mrs. Newland died in 1952 at the age of 93.
I see. Oh, good long lives. And after that, what happened to this beautiful house?
It was leased to Signal Oil for their different managers. That and the last family that lived here was the Kennedys.
Oh.
And after that, it was, shall we say, boarded up. Historical, the ladies wanted to restore this house for our bicentennial. By now, we have all the rooms open, and we give tours here the first and third weekends of each month.
Good to know.
And hopefully people get to know the family.
Well, this has been a fascinating history, and I thank you so much, Jerry, for taking the time to fill us in on everything. And I do hope our Laguna Woods people will come down and explore this treasure.
I hope so too, and I think they'll enjoy it.
We visited the reptile zoo in Fountain Valley. It's nothing to look at on the outside. It's in the middle of a strip mall. But inside, there is a surprisingly large and diverse collection of reptiles. You will see many kinds of snakes, including huge boa constrictors. There are exotic lizards from small to huge. There are alligators, turtles, and a large fish tank. It's a good way to spend an interesting hour or two, especially if you have grandchildren who are fascinated by such things. The admission cost is $15. You can find it on the internet, the Reptile Zoo in Fountain Valley.